gosh, what a day. What a day. All right, so let's get started. Thanks so much for being patient as I got all of my affairs in order today and for sticking with me even though I'm quite a bit late. So yeah, welcome to our Saturday practice. Today I titled it Finding Power. That can be, take that with a grain of salt, but the idea is we're going to move through poses that really activate our own sense of feeling strong and require our innate kind of strength to move through them. Not to say it's going to be particularly much harder than previous classes or anything, but that you really feel connected to all of the components of your body that are working towards enabling you to move through the practice. And then it's nice to take a moment and be like, oh, yeah, like I am doing this. I am listening to my body, or I am doing this a little further than I have in the past, or I am showing up fully present to this. And that's like a lovely sense of inner strength that will have the chance to be expressed this afternoon. So let's get started as we often do, sitting on the floor, coming back to our roots, our grounding. Take a second, find your alignment, and as you do, find yourself slowing down a little bit in these moments, making any little adjustments to feel upright in your spine, head over heart, over pelvis. Roll back your shoulders a few times if you need. And feel yourself just settling into this moment. Thank yourself for being present and available for the practice today. And let's maybe let our eyelids close a little bit or maybe fully, and just begin to bring in deeper breaths, however they feel good to you, through your nose, through your lips. And on the exhale, really slow it down as if time itself were slowing down with each exhale. And try this for a few moments on your own. I invite you to bring a hand to your heart, another hand to your belly, to really feel where the breath is landing in your body today. And invite you to make any adjustments that you would like to your breathing practice. Let's take one more cycle of breath here. And at the bottom of that last exhale, you can begin to open your eyes, let your breath return to a natural, almost out of mind rhythm. Let your hands fall back into your lap. And we're going to reach our arms out in front of us today. Place your palms to touch. And you're just going to begin to rub your hands together, generating a little warmth. I am freezing in this very drafty house. I think our windows are being back ordered for an indefinite amount of time. So it's always chilly. So begin to generate some heat, maybe moving a little faster. And then once your hands are nice and toasty, place them on an area on your body that could use a little bit of massage, warmth, love. Maybe it's a tight area by your neck. Maybe it's your own heart, maybe your legs. Just find an area that could use a little bit of warmth and comfort. Always me, it's my lovely shoulders. Oh. Good, and just take a moment to send that heat back into your body. Excellent, and letting the weight of your hands kind of press into your body as another reminder of the constancy of yourself, of the presence of yourself. You're physically touching yourself, reminding you of your own sense of stability, of your own presence. I feel like I should write out my weird little speeches, because I feel like I have all these thoughts and I'm like, that might make sense if I just thought about it before I came to the mat. But all this stuff is loosely interpreted. So if it helps guide you in your practice, great. All right, then we're gonna come onto our hands and knees and move through a cat and cow flow. For those of us who are here on Thursday or who are trying to be here on Thursday, maybe caught the video, we're gonna do a very similar flow in our cat and cow. So first, just take a couple minutes and move any way you like, beginning to connect the breath to your movement. So that would be an inhale, gaze lifts, belly drops, and an exhale, rounding of the spine, gaze comes between your legs. And then take any variation that you would like. Really feeling into the strength of your arms, the strength of your legs, which enable a sort of flexibility of the spine, of the core. And then we're going to come back to neutral and begin to tuck our toes. And this is where we'll start to bring a little more flow into the movement. So we will inhale, arch the spine, gaze up. And then exhale, as we round the spine, we're also going to send our hips back towards our heels, almost like we're going into a child's pose. And then on the inhale, move through those hands again. Gaze lifts, belly drops. Exhale, round the spine, send it back like you are a cresting wave. And then inhale, drop the belly, gaze lifts. Find your own flow here. And notice if you're building any warmth, generating any heat in your body, which is one of the ideas of our warm-up. And then you can release the toes, take any additional movement that you like. I'm doing a little tail wag, hips to the left, gaze over my left shoulder, hips to the right, gaze over my right shoulder. Get some of this out of the way. Excellent. And then we're going to come to a neutral spine. And we're going to walk our palms out about a palm print, tuck our toes, and here we're going to send our hips back before we send them up, just like we did in our cat and cow flow. And then once you start feeling those hips pressing back, begin to lift the knees. So you've already sent those hips back in space, and then rise into your downward facing dog, and begin to walk out your feet as feels good. Taking deep breaths at the top here. Excellent job. We're going to bend our knees deeply. Lift those hips toward the sky. Deep breath. Exhale, begin to straighten again. Inhale, bend those knees. Gaze forward. Exhale, straighten back. One more time. Inhale, bend those knees. Gaze comes forward. And exhale, lift back up. And then we're going to take some big steps with our feet. Walk them towards our hands. And just hang. You can have a nice bend in your knees. Option to reach for opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy in that little cradle in your arms. You can give it a gentle rock side to side. And here, even though we're just kind of hanging, letting gravity begin to stretch out our back, the backs of our legs, really feel into our grounding points, the points in our feet that are keeping us upon the ground, not falling over. Can you begin to feel more balanced on your feet, equally in your big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and your heel, almost like there's 3 points, like a triangle in your feet. And then you can spread the toes for additional support. Excellent. Now we're going to bend our knees nice and deeply, almost like we're sitting in a chair, maybe deeper than we usually go. Let that head be heavy and very intentionally move up as slowly as you can, straightening from the bottom up. So the knees and the hips begin to line up, and then your belly, your spine as you roll up the spine and the vertebrae, ending with a nice roll back of the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, fill your body And release. Let's take a moment in our mountain pose. So just flip the wrist to face the front, roll back the shoulders, I'll face you. Feel into the grounding points in your feet. Let your eyes close and feel the energy out through your fingertips. Feel the energy of your feet connecting with the ground, that stability, that connection between the feet and the ground. One breath in. And then on the exhale, you can open your eyes, come back to the front of the mat if you're not already there. And let us flow. Bend your knees, reach your arms up, up, up. Palms come together. And with bent knees, send that heart forward nice and slowly. And again, I keep emphasizing bent knees here just to see how that facilitates stretching in another way. Let those knees be nice and bent as we halfway lift. So halfway lift, if your knees are bent enough, you can keep your hands on the ground. Maybe you want to bring them to your legs. Emphasizing the tailbone pressing outward, the heart pressing up, shoulders back. So you have this nice straight spine or the intention of a straight spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Let's repeat that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. One final time, a deep halfway lift. Inhale, halfway lift. This time on the exhale, bring those elbows, hands to hips, elbows close to touching. Exhale here. Inhale to hold. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to plant our hands, step one foot back, and then the other. Take a moment in your high plank, or option, drop your knees to a low plank. Wherever you are, take a minute to find what works for you. Your feet could be touching if you're in high plank. They can be hips width distance apart. Ensure that your index fingers are pointing straight ahead, not towards each other. And really plant all 10 knuckles into the ground, especially the index finger, because that one tends to be a little sneaky and likes to lift up on us. Excellent. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, drop the knees, and then lift those hips back into downward dog. Similar again to Thursday. Inhale to shift forward. Gaze comes front. Exhale, drop the knees without stopping. Continue to move. Send those hips back and up, downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, move to downward dog. And as you move the plank, can we have that the cat posture? Really rounding the spine, lifting the belly button in the air as you transition to plank. Exhale, lower, move back and up. One more time. See what brings you. Really pull that core up, shifting forward. And then exhale, you can drop the knees or keep them up. Chaturanga. Woo! We did it. Excellent. I'm going to start with a baby cobra, but take any sort of upward dog or cobra that you like. If you are joining me in baby cobra, your hands are under your shoulders in line with your rib cage. Elbows are pressing towards each other. Maybe we lift our palms off the ground. And then exhale, lower back down. Move through plank. Move through plank or tabletop, and send those hips back up into downward facing dog. Excellent. We're gonna this time we're gonna walk our hands towards our feet and take a nice little hang on this side. Let that head be heavy. Let your knees have a natural bend. Option to sway side to side. And then exhale, you're going to release the hands. And you're going to grip through the feet, really root through them. Inhale, halfway lift for a moment. From this straight spine forward, heart forward, spine straight, tailbone back, almost like you're sitting in a chair. You're going to reach those arms out and up and come to standing. Arms reach up, come to prayer. Take a breath, hands pressing against each other, shoulder blades down and back, eyes can close or eyelids lower. And take a minute to find the rhythm of your breath. Check in, make any adjustments. Excellent. On your next exhale, begin to open the eyes. We're going to bend our knees, reach those arms out and up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, however you like. I'm really enjoying this bent knee one. And then exhale, forward fold. Let's take that halfway lift one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to hips, elbows come closer to each other. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale to look forward and begin to walk those hands out until you're in a downward facing dog. Good, and let's just shift into plank just to check our alignment. When you move into plank, you want to make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists and that you can stretch out your legs fully. So make any adjustments to make that alignment fit for you, and then send those hips back up in space to find your downward dog. Excellent. We're going to inhale that right foot up to the sky. We're going to turn it out and let that heel drop towards your booty just to stretch out the quad a little bit, stretch out the hip. And then we're going to straighten it back up, square the hips, and we're going to begin to send that right knee towards our right elbow. Again, that cat shape in your back, belly button lifting, and then send it back behind you. Deep breath in. This time we're going to step it right between your hands. Exhale to round the spine, get that knee towards your nose, and step it through into a nice runner's lunge here. Excellent. From here, you can use your side for support, or you can just use your arms to send your body upright. Hands can be at your waist, or they can lift up. Actively send the right hip back and left hip forward a little bit. Just square those hips to the front of the room. Deep breath in. Feel into your power here. This certainly requires a lot of strength, even if you're taking the option on your knee. There's a lot going into this: balance, stability, flexibility. Excellent. Take one more breath in. And on the exhale, regardless of where you are, you're going to just bow forward just a little bit, keeping your back nice and long, arms by your ears or at your hips. Option to send those arms past your hips into a little almost like your arms are a cape flying behind you. Excellent. Take a moment. Inhale, send them back up. Exhale, slight lean forward, reach them back. Final one. Find a flow. Exhale, send the heart forward. And then reset with them up. Exhale, hands plant down. Whew. Excellent job. You're going to bring your right hand to the inside of your right leg. Walk that right foot out a little bit to the edge. So we get into our lizard pose. You can turn the right toes out to the right side a little so they're on a diagonal. And then here you can drop the back leg. Take a breath to find that length. And then exhale, fold wherever feels good for you. You can always lift the back leg and lower it, just to experiment with how that feels. You can always stay on your palms. Excellent. On your next inhale, you're going to plant those hands again on the front of your mat. Send an exhale. And then inhale, lift the back leg. Send the front leg to meet the back leg, high plank. From here, I have like a flow in mind here. From your high plank or low plank, inhale to shift forward. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga, cobra, upward dog, take whatever you need here. And then exhale, lift back up, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale to settle and stabilize here. One more time like that. Deep breath in through your nose, then out through your mouth. Inhale, the left leg high in the sky. Send the left leg towards the left elbow, pulling up that belly button. requiring a lot of strength and generating strength here. Inhale, send it back. And then exhale, send it towards your nose, knee to nose as you prepare to step in between your hands. Excellent. Find your stability here. And then using the support of your thigh or not, begin to lift that torso off the front leg. Reach those arms up or keep them at your hips. Take a grounding breath in and a settling breath out. Wonderful. Inhale, shifting forward, reaching the arms back. Exhale, reaching them back up. Torso aligns itself, stacking on top of vertebrae, stacking on top of each other. Next breath, lean forward, arms reach back. Next breath up. One more round. And then we're gonna plant those hands on either side of that leg. Left hand is gonna come to the inside edge of that left foot. As we walk out the left foot to the edge of the mat, turn the left toes out and find your lizard here. This is one of those poses you can take in so many different ways. You can drop the back foot. You can use blocks under your hands to really get length in the spine. Or, as you feel comfortable, lower down closer to the mat. Just find where you would like to be today. And notice if one side feels any differently from the other. Excellent. And then we're going to come back, plant your palms on the ground. Inhale, lift the back leg. Send the front leg back to meet the back leg. Inhale, shift forward, take an exhale in there. Next inhale, shift forward, lower down towards the floor, and move through your chaturanga. But instead of going into downward dog, plant those knees on the ground, come into a child's pose of your choice. I like to have a wide-kneed child's pose, but you can keep your legs close to each other as well. Bring your forehead to the mat and just take a few grounding breaths here. And take stock of all that you have sort of learned about yourself throughout yoga practice. I know some of you have been with the virtual classes with me for months and months. And if there's anything that surprised you or challenges you or gave you more information about the organization and structure of your own practice, take a moment to reflect on that now. Let's take a final breath in this position. And then exhale, we move deliberately through our tabletop. Make any adjustments to feel aligned. And then we flow again. So we're gonna walk those palms forward, tuck those toes, hips go back and up. Deep breath in your downward facing dog. Wow, there's this hair all over me. I wish I could say it's from all the pets that I don't own. I was dog sitting though, and it was like the two shaggiest cats and like the hairiest dog I've ever seen. So I'll just blame them. Excellent. One more breath here in your downward facing dog. Let it out. And then we're gonna inhale that right foot high again. Oh, I realized I forgot to drop the hip on the other side, so I'll make sure we'll adjust that to even it out on the next round. And this time we're gonna bring our right knee to our right elbow. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale to send it back. Like you're kind of like kicking in slow motion through a wall, or you're kicking through water. Inhale, send the right knee towards your left elbow, crossing over that body. Exhale, deliberately with some resistance, press back. Inhale, knee to nose, feeling into all of this power that you have. And then exhale in one or several steps, plant the right leg down in between your left. Take a moment here, maybe we take a deep breath in to get a little more length. And then exhale, we're gonna plant the left hand down, open the right hand up towards the sky. Good, and as we rotate up, let that body rotate upwards as well. Exhale, plant that hand down, framing your foot. Next inhale, we're gonna send the right leg back in space, back up behind you. Now we're going to drop that right heel towards your booty and let it continue to fall, fall, fall. Maybe it touches the ground. Wild thing, where your right arm lifts off the floor, reaches behind you. Right foot is planted on the ground, left leg is long. If you're used to wild thing, lift those hips high. And then exhale to bring that hand back to the front of the mat. Rotate those hips. Send that right leg high in the air. And then exhale, lower down. Downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting forward. High plank or low plank. Exhale, lower down. Chaturanga. Take a second here. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Just take a couple seconds to move as slowly or deliberately as you like through that. One of my pet peeves in yoga is people move through the chaturanga so fast. And I'm really feeling my oats in those moments. I'm like, oh yes, I'm at the floor, I'm breathing. But some people are like, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, so maybe by now we're in downward dog or we're getting a sip of water. Whenever you feel ready to continue, you're gonna lift the left leg high in the sky. And first, just to balance off the quad stretch I forgot to do on the other side, just drop that leg, that foot towards your booty, and just stretch out the quad on the left side. And then straighten it back up. Square those hips. Send left knee to left elbow. Send it back. Inhale, left knee to right elbow, crossing over the body. Exhale, press it back. Inhale, knee to nose, rounding that spine. And when you're ready, step it through. Back into our lunge. Take a second here. Inhale, maybe you find a little more length. And then exhale here. Next inhale, you're going to plant the right hand on the ground, or you can tent up on your fingertips or on a block. And just lift that left arm high in the sky. Let your body rotating from the belly, the low belly, turn towards the sky as well. Really opening yourself up in this exultant, I don't know, are you out there, God? Motion. I don't know. And then exhale. Send that left hand down beyond, next to your left foot. Plant those hands. Whew. Man, breathing is good. Now we're going to inhale to send that left leg back up into the sky. Exhale, let that left heel drop towards the booty, but let it continue on towards the floor. And then it kind of lifts your left arm up into the sky. Wild thing. Wild thing, your hand can be straight up. You can reach it back beyond your head. Just keep those hips lifted. And then exhale. Whew. Rotate it all back into that three-legged dog. And then lower down. Downward facing dog. Inhale, shift on forward. Exhale, chaturanga. And again, let's move into a child's pose of choice. And then we're going to inhale, move through our tabletop, walk those hands slightly forward, tuck those toes, and then lift up into your downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg high. Exhale, bend the knee, drop that foot towards the floor. Wild thing. Arm can be straight up, it can be back. Hips are high, really exposing the front body to the sky. On your next exhale, rotate it back, three-legged dog. Next exhale, lower, down, and shift into your plank. Continue rotating until you are on the outer edge of your right knee. Lift up, side plank. You can always put the top foot in front if you're having some wobbly issues. And then exhale, high plank. Inhale, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. We're nearly there. Meeting in downward facing dog, take a moment here. You've come so far and the finish line is right in front of us. Inhale, the left leg high. Bend that knee, let that foot drop towards the ground. Maybe we get more comfortable lifting that left hand simultaneously. Wild thing. Exhale, rotating back into that three-legged dog. Next, exhale, lower that foot down, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. And on that same movement, shift to the left side of your left foot, side plank. Option to put the right foot in front for some stability. Vishisthasana. Exhale. Whew. Lower on down to high plank or low plank. Inhale, shift forward. Move through your chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Begin to walk your hands towards your feet. And let's hang in our forward fold. Let your head be rested, relaxed. Your neck is relaxed. And let this be a restorative position for you. Notice if there's any differences between this forward fold right now or compared to the one that we took at the beginning of class. I, for one, notice a difference in the amount of sweat that is coming off of my forehead. But I also notice a lot more release in the backs of my legs. So that's something. Then we're going to bend our knees. Reach your arms out and up. Hands come to prayer. Send them down your body and just take a second. Let the blood kind of rush back into the body. You might be a little lightheaded. We spent a lot of time, uninterrupted time on the ground. Excellent job. And shake out those hands. We were on our wrists a lot. Good, good work. So I'm gonna come to the middle of my mat. And just take any sort of restorative movement that you like. I like always love these like Michael Phelps, like pre-Olympic swim arms, but take whatever you might need. Take a sip of water or a sip of your beverage. I'm just noticing I have on one of the miscellaneous coffee tables from Not Yet Unpacking, I have a tray of 3 mangoes and a honeydew melon. Well, this is supposed to lift off of the stand because it's a magnet, but I forgot to put these away from like 2 days ago. So I'm glad we have this practice so I can remember to put away the fruit. All right, excellent. So now what we're going to do is move through a standing sequence that will definitely encourage or embolden our sense of strength, even if by the end we feel like totally like, oh, I'm weak, I'm depleted. But you have to move, but that just shows that you tapped into your sense of strength, and that by being worn out at the end, it means you actually used your reserves of strength. It means you actually had the strength in the first place. Otherwise, you wouldn't really be feeling weak or tired at the end. So, point is, you're all doing so great. So we're gonna bring our feet together. Find some alignment in this standing position. We're gonna inhale, send those hips back, bend the knees, reach the arms back. And we're gonna go pretty far. So maybe go a little deeper than you might normally. Trying your best to keep those shoulder blades together, like you could insert a little toothbrush or something in between them. I don't know why you would do that, but that's a nice mental image. And just hang out here, lifting the toes, so you take any weight off of the toes. Good. more breath here. And on the exhale, option to swing those arms, almost touching the floor, down past your sides, and then reach them forward. Continue to breathe. And an option, next inhale, perhaps you lift the hands. Good. And then straighten up. Exhale, fold forward. Take a couple breaths at the bottom here. On your next exhale, bend those knees nice and deeply, send those hips back, reach the arms back. Gaze lifts. Inhale here. Exhale, swing the arms around, reach them forward. Continue to breathe. Wow, it is so windy. These trees are going bonkers. And then inhale, potentially reach the arms up. If that's uncomfortable, don't do it. And then from here, gripping through the right foot, begin to lift the left, flexing the toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right foot, stability in the left. Exhale, lower. One more time each side. Inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left, or the other leg. Exhale, lower. Sink a little deeper. Then inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. So now, the forward fold, rather than feeling like a stretch in itself, may have transitioned from being its own stretch to being the restoration from another exercise, to being the break or the release from another exercise. So we've sort of changed the role of this forward fold. And then gentle bend in your knees. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Just to wind up our standing practice, let's just do a little something for our hips. So let's open our legs about as wide as your wrists if you were to reach your arms out. Then we're going to rotate the front foot to point to the right side. Good. Hips are going to bump to the left. Inhale, reach those arms out. And just play here. Play with the toggling of your body. Hips more to the left, maybe your heart more to the right. I'm just going to play with this stretch where you start feeling this in the lower body. Take a moment here. Moving with your breath ever so subtly. And then inhale up, or inhale to expand here, and then exhale to send those arms down. You can reach to your ankle or a block. You can reach towards the floor or hover your fingertips off. And then check your balance. You can look down at your right foot or up at your left hand. Good. Can we still send those hips to the left? And then exhale, bend the front knee, grip through that front foot, and come to standing. Hands can come to your hips. We're going to send the right toes front, and now the left toes to the left side. Good. Inhale. Reach the arms out, bump those hips to the right. Take a second here to kind of toggle, to really feel into the dynamics of this. What's really happening? I really always think of myself as hands on a clock, but even with my hips, my hands on my hips, I think of my torso and my leg as hands on a clock. You know, unless they're sort of like contemporary art clocks, they don't wiggle or move. It's one machine. Now, of course, humans aren't machines, but there is a sort of an element of gear function, how our joints move in their sockets, kind of the balancing to keep us stable. There's sort of mathematics that we can study around that as well. So inhale, find the length. Exhale, keeping those hips, sending the hips continually to the right, which enables the drop to the left. Find your left hand wherever's comfortable. Trying not to collapse that spine, but keeping that same energy that we had when we were standing fully. Gaze can be up or down. Take some breaths. And then inhale, bend that front knee, come to standing. Let both feet face the front, hands come to your hips. And then we're gonna sort of jumping jack our feet to close. I don't know why I like love getting down this way. Okay, let's like do something kind of fun. I sometimes do this with my dance students because it was like a fun little sequence I did. You're gonna touch your right hand to right shoulder, left to left, right hand to right hip, left hand to left hip. So it's right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. So while we do that, our legs are just gonna, our right leg is gonna come forward, to the side, to the back, so much so that we sit. The idea is we pair them together. I can't see you, so just play around. I'll demonstrate. You're gonna go. So the leg is just doing a little semicircle. You know, right, right, left, left, and down. So feel free to do whatever version to come to the floor as you like. Some of my students get very creative. It's a lot of shoulder. It's a lot of like deep bend in the knees. And it becomes kind of a snazzy way to get to the floor, kind of based off of simple elements. Excellent. So we're on the floor. If you did come down the way I did, your left leg will be on top of your right. If it's not, I encourage you to get there. So you're just crossing the left leg over the right so the knees are stacking. And you can pull the heels in as close to your booty or as far away as you like. And you can bring your hands underneath your sits bones and pull away any flesh that might be making us wobble, like wobble on our seat, not like wobble as we walk down the street. And then inhale, find some length in that spine. And then exhale, same principle as the forward fold, keeping the heart out as long as feels good. And then when you reach that edge, rounding down. And then find yourself settling here. This is our wind down, our cool down, our preparation into rest. Do you ever notice it's hard to sleep after you've done something very stimulating or had a really great conversation or been really stressed? You almost need a preamble to rest. And that's what this is serving as. An invitation to tell our bodies to do less, to sink in, to not be focused on how it looks, but rather how it feels. And then slowly use your hands to press that body up. Uncross those legs. You can give them a little shake in between. And then we're going to cross the the right leg over the left, stacking at the knees. If this isn't comfortable, you can separate your knees a little further. Just find a variation that works for you, even if it looks nothing like this particular one. I'm going to inhale, get a little length in the spine, and then keeping that strong spine, begin to bow forward until you meet that edge, and that you might definitely notice a difference in the hips here. And when you find that limit, give into it. Just roll down and settle. And then inhale, press yourself back up, uncross the legs, give them a little shake. And then come across the long edge of your mat again. You can kind of tuck those knees in, feet planting on the ground. Inhale, long spine, and then exhale, round into the floor. And then give those knees a little hug at the top, maybe rock side to side. Remembering that you are magnificent. I have a tattoo that says magnificent, just as a reminder. Sometimes it's easy to forget. And then from here, we're going to plant the soles of our feet on the ground, extend the left leg, hug the right leg in, and then using the left hand along the shin of your right leg, simply guide that knee over to the left side, getting a little supine twist here. You can let your hand rest on that knee, or you can open them out. Let your breath come back into your awareness. Your steady, faithful breath. And then inhale, roll out of that twist. Do one final hug of that right knee. And on that exhale, send it down along the floor. Inhale, casual inhale, hug in that left knee, and then using the right hand, gently guide that left leg to the right side, twist on the other side. Eyes can begin to close as you feel more deeply into your internal experience. Inhale, sending that knee back up. One final hug. Exhale to send that leg down along the mat. And then here is your opportunity to take anything else from this class. If there's a stretch or a position or a breath exercise or a mantra that you would like to offer yourself now, I will be quiet and just kind of stretching on my own, and then I will guide us together into our Shavasana. So just take a couple seconds on your own. Take whatever you may need. Take an inhale to seal that little self-yoga moment. And then exhale, begin to find your Shavasana. If you'd like a blanket or a bathrobe or a pillow, get as snug as you possibly can. We're gonna essentially extend our legs just out and wide. Hands, you can always have them out, or if you'd like to kind of come full circle, you can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And that's a nice reminder of where our breath is going in our bodies. But even as we drift off into kind of unawareness, it's just a loving gesture to yourself. You have both hands on your heart. You can pick a mudra with your hands, touching your index finger to your thumb, for instance, or your ring finger to your thumb. And there's a whole vocabulary of mantras that, one day might be fun for us to play around with. But even just a hand gesture that you find soothing to you, that maybe doesn't have a particular meaning to anybody beyond yourself. Just find yourself settling here, perhaps still comforted by a little film of heat that you created by using your own power and moving through class together. Take a final deep intentional breath here. And on the exhale, allow yourself to just drift, to rely on the automatic functions of your body, and then you don't have to actively do or be anything other than what and who you are in this moment together. A few more moments like this. And noting that even if these moments of silence or stillness and the virtual world of it all over Zoom may feel awkward or uncomfortable or weird, that with time, these experiences become normal to us if we practice, and then perhaps even cherished moments for us. If I can facilitate that moment for you, well, then I am happy to be here. Let's take a deep breath in to seal our Shavasana. And then exhale to release and let go of any negativity or tension or things that have been bringing us down throughout our Saturday. Just let them go just for now, and maybe for always. And begin to bring some movement back into your body, small wiggles of the fingers or toes. Maybe you rock your head side to side very slowly. Optional stretch with your arms overhead, feeling into the length of your entire person and beyond. And then carefully rolling over onto one side, tucking in those knees, taking a moment at the bottom here. Eyes can still be closed. And then slowly and steadily begin to shift back into your upward seated position. Eyes can still be closed or eyelids heavy. Let's bring our hands out in front of us and begin to rub those palms together again, generating a bit of heat as we did in the beginning of practice. And then again, once you get the warmth, send them, guide those hands to a place that could use a little bit of heat, a little bit of self-love. And yoga is for everybody. Unity is for everybody. And it's for every body, regardless of how you woke up today on the wrong side of the bed, or what is sore, or what may be broken or sick or unloved. So if there's anything in class that you would like to see more of or less of or try out, please certainly reach out with recommendations or suggestions. I would love to hear them. You're gonna then bring those hands to cup our eyes, and you're gonna gently blink your eyes open in your hands and begin to peer through the cracks in your fingers, letting the room come back into your range of sight slowly, slowly. The light creeps back in, and then begin to release your hands. We're fresh, so fresh. And inhale, bring your hands to your forehead. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale to bow forward in honor of this class. We are all links in this class that make it possible to do together. So I want to offer you my sincerest gratitude and thanks. Offer a namaste if that is something that you enjoy receiving. I look forward to seeing you at our next class, ideally on time for me. And have a lovely weekend. I hope to see you all soon.